goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Sweet, that intro is my new favorite band. That's phenomenal. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that you might be able to play that song live today.
You heard correctly. Yes.
Excellent. So,
Good enough for rock.
I don't know when I rock out here on your next favorite band and show.
and listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band.
Phil, you weren't supposed to make me get all... God almighty,
But this
Phil.
is why we do it.
Like, seriously. I gotta gather myself. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar.
Tonight, we have slacker indifference but obsessive romantics from Chicago, Billy Joel Jr.
Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be your next favorite band.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese, and you are listening to your next favorite band. Great one tonight. Another one that we're thinking you're really going to love. Billy Joel Jr. is the name of the band, and it obviously is going to be a fun conversation about the name and also just some great music that you're going to love. Chicago-based. Just had Daisy Chain on a couple weeks back. And then I remembered as the show open was playing there, Tedious and Brief, also Chicago. So well represented on the show here. But before we get into the actual interview, I always share some silliness off the top here, and I thought this one, I just came across this recently. Obviously, it's not new because I think it's from the 80s that this happened. But there was once this is true. John Fogerty was actually sued for plagiarizing himself. So John Fogerty sued for plagiarizing John Fogerty. 1985, John Fogerty was sued for releasing a song that allegedly ripped off another one he'd written 15 years earlier, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. Funny article, funny, interesting. I'll link to it in the show notes, but it's just an interesting thing where it was something that he had released during the CCR days that then he was releasing a different song as a solo artist and was alleged to be stealing from himself, which apparently is a thing. But anyway, I just thought that was a funny one to share because there is kind of a nuance to a fun thing that happened with tonight's guest. But another thing that we recently did was kind of put out there the save the date for our Listen to the Dissonance live event in Bethlehem. We'll be announcing the lineup, the four people who will be joining us for the brave stories and powerful music that always comes with that night, centered around people's mental health journeys. So save February 27th. It's a Friday. It'll be at the Ice House again. That'll be our third year doing it there. It's always a powerful night. It's always great to bring together people in a safe space to talk about mental health topics without having to either whisper about them or without judgment. So, and then just some of the powerful music that came out of different people who've been on the show before who were brave enough to kind of hop on stage, talk about their journey, and play some music that came from it. Just seems to always be, important for people, especially in the dark, cold winter months. It's something to maybe kind of have as a night to kind of escape some of that. So with that in mind, also, let's hear from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Hey, music lovers. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to tell you about our sponsor, BetterHelp.
More and more, mental health topics of depression, anxiety, addiction, and more are coming up in our interviews with artists and musicians who are brave enough to share them and the music that came out of the journey. Those songs may even help us feel a little bit less alone as we work through the same struggles, but at the end of the day, we need more than just a great song. We need therapy, and that's where BetterHelp can assist. BetterHelp connects you with a therapist who can help you find your path. Instead of being stuck in the endless loop of questioning yourself, you can talk through questions, concerns with someone who's trained to help you find real answers. As you know, our Listen to the Dissonance shows help to create a safe space for vulnerable conversations, but not everywhere can feel that way. Since BetterHelp is accessed via their app, you can explore your options and conduct your sessions in the comfort of your own home or wherever you feel is best for you. After you download the app, you'll get started by filling out a questionnaire and get matched with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. And if that's not feeling right, you can easily switch to a different therapist at any time at no extra cost. They carefully make sure the therapists on the platform are well qualified and their customer support team is there to help you with any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. We at Your Next Favorite Band believe in breaking the stigma around mental health, and going to therapy is a sign of strength, not weakness. And with BetterHelp, it's easier than ever to take that first step towards feeling better. Click the link here or go to betterhelp.com/nextfaveband and you'll get 10% off your first month of therapy. That's betterhelp.com/nextfaveband. It's okay to ask for help. Contact BetterHelp today. So, recent find here, brand new music that was just released in the middle of December, but with a catalog of music that predates that. A phenomenal sound and really up-and-coming band here, Billy Joel Jr. Take a listen to this amazing track, Girlfriend/Twin Bed. Billy Joel Jr. is an indie rock band from Chicago, fronted by songwriter Ari Levin, with bandmates Charlie Dykestal, Nate Dorian, and Carl L. Sokun. They've performed their slacker tunes across the Midwest and have been a name for themselves with their live performances, lauded for explosive chemistry and tongue-in-cheek slacker rock energy. In December 2024, the Chicago Reader named them Best Emerging Band of 2024 after releasing their first EP, Rubber Hose. Their debut full-length album, You're a Star, has everything indie rock devotees have come to love. Sardonic melodies, wistful guitar playing, and an indie sleaze sound. It's on full display right now. Let's bring it back up, and then we're going to bring Ari on the show. That guitar solo. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up?
Ari Levin from Billy Joel Jr.
Thanks for having me, Phil.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. And what awesome music. I mean, like, quite a tear you're all on, but we're going to get into all of that. First, let's just talk about this obviously incredibly fun to make video.
Yeah, the video was crazy. There's like some shots in there that are sped up from like 200%. And we were in this cabin in Michigan where we were recording demos for some new material. And my buddy Evan showed up with a camera and said, "Hey, I want to shoot a music video for you guys." And we said, "Okay,
let's do that."
And he was like, I had this idea where like you guys are moving super slow and you're singing the song, but then I speed it up so it looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we like played Girlfriend Twin Bed over some speakers, and I like cranked the rate down to like half the speed or whatever, and we were just like trudging through the song. And he was like, act more, overact, keep going, like give me more face, and it was a fun time.
That's fantastic. And it just has such a great, like, the mix that you have in your music is like intentionally this, more garagey sound. I don't know the right way to put it, but like it's meant to be heard in this way that it's almost like the live version of it. And then it fits that style of video as well, being black and white and a little bit of a throwback to like, it's just such a wonderful kind of sound and visual delight.
I'm so glad you said that. I like to think we're like a good 90s nostalgia band.
Yes. I was going to say that too, but also I didn't want it to sound like it was it's very current in its vibe, but kind of just makes you remember those times. It doesn't feel like you're trying to emulate or like, sound like you're from that decade. You're from this one, but like it harkens back to that, which is probably why it scratches that, part of my brain that loves this music.
There's like bands from the 90s, obviously like Nirvana, one of my favorite left-hand guitarists. Kurt Cobain's like a huge influence for us. But then like other bands like Third Eye Blind is like a great band that I bring up a lot as being sort of this scrappy songwriting, melody-driven band that has like these earworms that I feel like I always fall in love with, like How's It Gonna Be is kind of a bit of a deeper cut, like Third Eye Blind song. Semi-Charmed Life is awesome.
Well, Jumper is on my list of songs I wished I could. If I was a musician, it would be one I would want to play. Like, I think that song is amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, in that kind of vein of like 90s nostalgia, fuzz and like rocky melodic tunes. That's
well, awesome. So when I was first listening to your music and saying this is somebody who I absolutely want to bring on, the song that caught me, and it's the one I'll play at the end because at the end, I always play my favorite track from the artist, and my favorite song that you have is Bad Heart.
Oh, thanks.
And it was the one where I was like, as I'm listening to it, what it really sounded to me was Everclear, the first album, where they were sounding like this, like where they were a bunch of badasses. I feel like they then headed into the Third Eye Blind radio poppy grunge,
sure.
which is still good stuff, but I still wanted to hear more of that. Take me to your garage, Art, and just make me fall in love with fuzzy guitars all over again. And so when I was listening to your music, I'm like, that's that Art of Noise, like Everclear first album type stuff that is just so good. Like it's just so raw, and then mixed with this very interesting balance that you've struck of funny, but also like it's right. I shared it off the opening. How can you be a slacker indifferent, but also obsessive romantic? I don't know how you do it, but you do it song after song.
Well, it feels good to live in that rare space. One of my favorite things when we were writing Girlfriend Twin Bed, because it kind of like that song and a couple other ones just sort of appear from the ether. We rehearse pretty regularly, and we'll like play around on like new progressions, new riffs, new stuff. And this one kind of came out of like a random like thing that Nate started. Like I think he played like 2 notes.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped him in the middle of rehearsal. I said, "Play that again, but don't stop playing that." Like, And then we were just like riffing lyrics, and the idea of like being in a twin bed, and you're ultimately you're obsessive romantic. You're trying to please this beautiful woman with all that you have, and all you can afford is a twin bed, and
takes up the whole room.
It takes the whole room, and she thinks I'm living so large that she wants to see my W-2. Like little things like that, they're just kind of fun.
Sure.
And make the song a little bit more of like a little party whenever we play it live.
Yeah, for sure. And it's very clear that you all are having a blast, like performing together and writing together. And I just think that's such a neat thing because it's so, you can't fake that. Like you could take 4 incredible musicians, but if they don't click or connect, it's just going to be bad. Like they just won't create. But you could take 4 people who love being together, and it's going to be magic.
I hope that's awesome to hear because I think we really do love each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a lot of bands that are, single songwriter, and like I'll write pretty much all the songs that we put on the album or songs I'm writing, but I can't write them alone. I can't create, arrange, or do these songs without the other three guys. And our producer Blake Sokolov, who also helps with the kind of putting everything in its right place. A lot of the songs off the album, actually all of them except for Blue, were recorded live. So a
I
live
love it.
room, fully, we spent weeks and weeks rehearsing some of the times, and just kind of how like our singles were released at one after the other. Once we got a song done, we put it through the cycle of getting it mixed and mastered, and put it out there on the release calendar. So
Yeah.
what you hear is what you get from us at the studio.
Yeah, and actually, that's my favorite type of recording is not a live record, like not a, oh, I recorded this a live performance at some venue. I like those too, but my favorite is rather than a layered track recording, is that the whole band was in the room and recorded as a live performance. So those have historically been, oh, I never knew it, but going back and looking things through, it's like, oh, those were the ones that were always my favorite to listen to. And it must be just some of that energy that's captured by all four people or more, performing all at the same time.
Well, a fun little Easter egg that maybe this, no, you'll be the first I tell this to, but
Nice.
you can hear it in this
Breaking
recording.
news.
Yeah, you can hear in the recording in the drum mics. I told Carl, do not sing while we're doing the live take, and he couldn't help himself. And the whole time he was like singing. So like when we're going to like mix things out and try to like make it right, like with balance between his like gang vocals and him singing in the drum mics was impossible to get rid of. So you'll hear him say at the beginning like, "Oh shit," excited. You'll hear like him, like his vocals kind of cut through really well because it's one of his favorites.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Oh, that's great. A little tidbit here. You heard it here first on Your Next Favorite Band. So take us back to your like intro to music. Like as a kid, what was like the moment that like music grabbed a hold?
I honestly have been thinking about this one a lot more lately. I just spent a lot of time with my mom for her birthday. We went down to the Florida Keys, and we were talking about like, she was telling me like, oh, I like the album. She's like, I don't like all the songs. I like this one. She was telling me she likes Blue, but she likes that because growing up I was pure classical piano.
Oh,
So
wow.
from like the age of 4 till 17, I was playing piano every single day, practicing and going to see a piano teacher at least once a week, twice a week sometimes.
Yeah.
We had like solo ensemble or like chamber auditions, and then there would be guild auditions. So I was a member, and the name maybe escapes me, but it's called like the National Piano Players Guild.
Wow.
And I was a state recognized member. I've got a plaque at home. Has my name on it.
I can just see this mom moment of, I liked when Ari used to play the piano.
Yes, that's exactly.
I don't like all this music, Ari, but I'm so happy that you're happy. Like,
she's of the opinion that the guitar is not a real instrument, and I think
that's a bold statement.
Yeah, so I love.
We should have brought her on for a moment here to talk about that.
Yeah. Oh well, see you, Phil. Thanks for having me on.
Right.
But where I was talking, and she said, your cousin really turned you and your brothers on to what was kind of like more modern, more contemporary music. Because growing up, it was truly just like Beatles and ABBA and the Eagles. Not to say I don't like. Truly, those are 3 of my favorite bands of all time.
Sure.
But my parents would use all 3 of those bands to help them learn English. And my cousin one day brought over like a bunch of burned CDs he had made from the days of like Napster and LimeWire, and on the CD that he gave me was like half of Nevermind by Nirvana,
sure.
Some Pavement songs, and
I can totally hear a Pavement influence in your music.
Yeah, I mean, I like Pavement as much as the next guy. I think they're a little bit overrated at the moment. I think everyone's having a big Pavement session. But there's that, and then some like early like emo and some System of a Down. So there was like a good mix between like some heavier grunge and some like indie stuff to some of the. He also got me into Slint, back in the day. My cousin's like much older than us, but he was definitely like trying to introduce us to stuff in the time of the iPod.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So did you then take guitar lessons, or was there some way, like how did you kind of pivot from piano to guitar?
My brother had like a acoustic that he never played, and so I like picked that up and started like playing around on it. I think I remember like one of the first songs I tried teaching myself was "Goodbye Blue Sky" by Pink Floyd. And I, of course, like I didn't know.
Starting with the easy ones.
Well, I don't know. Like,
right.
Like it was like finger strummy, and you could like play it. And to me, that was a good introduction. It was like, oh, this is a song I want to learn how to play. And then from there, it just kind of took off. I was like playing guitar every day in my room. My mom would be like, "You can't keep this in your room because you just would be
never put it down." Yeah,
you won't put it down. And I never really learned to like actually. I didn't really take classes. I took bass lessons. My mom was like, if we're gonna learn a guitar, maybe we'll learn like bass guitar. Help you some more, more you're reading, your sight reading, you're playing this. But I'd always end up going back to like acoustic guitar. And in high school, I started like a couple of bands where we'd play around. Like we played like in our like local high school battle of the bands, and then they had this thing called Tiger Stock, which it was like the mascot, the school mascot, where it was like tigers. So it was like a Woodstock type thing. We ended up opening for this artist when I was in high school called Trevor Hall, if you know of him. So he's still a pretty big artist today. But I remember that's one of my earliest claim to fame is opening for that guy in high school. And then it just went up from there. So like for college, playing in bands, playing in like jam sessions, and coming to Chicago and trying to find our way, right?
And then
obviously, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, then the band starts. This group of 4 people start to come together. Obviously, before it gets named, the 4 of you were already playing together. Mostly cover, if I understand it right. It was like being a cover band.
Yeah, we were just sort of like my challenge, at least I found in like the Chicago music scene, is you might find people to like jam with, play music with once in a while. It was really difficult for me early on to try and find a group that we could like consistently play like even covers together. And so Charlie, the bass player, and a couple other people, we got together and started playing some covers, like between like Radiohead. We played like Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus. That was kind of a big cover of ours. And then I try to sneak in an original here and there. Until the point where our set became like 60% originals, 40% covers. Our guitarist decided he didn't really want to spend time. He really couldn't afford to spend time doing live, playing guitar with us. And then our drummer moved to LA. And in that kind of process of losing those guys, we recorded 3 singles at the studio that we recorded at called Abbey Cat Recordings here in Chicago, which is how I met Nate. So Nate was the engineer of that session. And he was sort of listening in to all of us, recording those 3 singles. He was in the control room, like playing on an acoustic, like, oh, yeah. He's like, I kind of like these songs. And he heard us talking about how we were losing a guitarist. And he put his hat in the ring, literally that
That's
weekend.
Fantastic.
Like, if you guys ever need a guitarist or you need someone to play with, I'll play with you. And I said, you're hired. And then from there, Charlie, so we had 2 Charlies in the band. Charlie, drummer, moved to LA. And in that kind of process of him moving, he was like, I don't have time. I'm like trying to find a new job, doing all this stuff. I don't have time to like do shows. So we started like softly auditioning a new drummer. And Nate knew Carl through Blake, our producer, because Blake and Carl were like college roommates and they knew each other through like a connection. So we invited Carl over to jam. And it was like instantly amazing. Like the 4 of us playing together. It's funny. Like from that day of him jamming with us, 3 weeks later, we were cutting we were tracking Oh Nancy with Carl in the studio.
Wow.
So he hadn't even played like a show with us yet. And I said, I need you drumming on this new song that won't come out for another 7-8 months. Will you do it? He's like, hell yeah. Um, and so like that, like on the EP, "Oh Nancy" is like Carl's first, and it is his only song on the EP
I
technically.
gotcha. Yeah. And those songs too, you had written as far back as like what, 2016 or even earlier?
Yeah, yeah. I moved to Chicago in 2017, like end of 2016, and so I'd written a lot of those songs with like in like a basement apartment in Logan Square, which is like very sad Chicago winter, writing songs in your basement.
Mm-hmm.
Like "You're So Tall," Leo, and a couple others. I think "New to Love" is another song that's on the album, even that's
Right.
just as old, if not older, than some of the other songs. Um, that like really started back from when I first moved to the city, trying to find people to make music with.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And then I wanted to bring up here, I have the image of the EP that got released, Rubber Hose, which was 2024, which is some of these tracks that we're talking about here. I had kind of hoped and that I would find, and based on again some of the comedy of some things that of your lyrics, I was like, oh, it's going to be like "Up Your Nose with a Rubber Hose,"
Oh,
but
okay.
turns out it's just the style of cartooning that's on the cover.
It's however you want to take it, right? Like if that's something that resonates with you, that's what I want you to take away.
Well, that's excellent, but awesome cover art there, and that is where it comes from, right? The Rubber Hose is the style of that artwork.
Yeah, yeah. So Izzy Cho, the artist behind that, when we were first like as a band working to like kind of generate some graphics, one of the songs "Leo" is about this graffiti in Berlin, and we had asked Izzy, "Hey, can you like listen to these songs and help us come up with some like maybe graphics or a logo for the band or something?" And she worked really well for us. She created this like logo of like these two socialists, communist guys kissing, which is the inspiration behind that one song, "Leo."
Hmm.
But then she said, when I was listening to your music, I was just like kind of sketching on my iPad and just like trying to think about like what does the music make me think of, and that's where she kind of came up with that
Here, I'll bring it back
image
up.
of
Yeah.
like the rubber hose of those like different arms of like a big. It's almost like a dog pile,
Sure.
like boyish nature fighting. You
Yep.
have these like elements of like I think like the Band-Aid is like a super cute little
Hmm.
aspect, like
Yep.
scuffed knees or something, holding a flower where like the petals are falling off. It has this like cartoonish, boyish charm that I really fell in love with.
Totally.
I thought she captured that kind of energy really well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, and then reception off of that getting released was pretty great. Like as far as like it being like the first kind of like putting your feet out there in this way.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Chicago community ate it up. We had like I think after releasing the EP, we played like 50 shows in the Chicago area and like on like touring. So that was like within like a year of
Hmm.
that, like 4 or 5 shows a month, just of like people wanting to play with us and us getting kind of traction with other bands and touring bands, and it was awesome. It was amazing. It's so rewarding, and it almost is like when you make something, you're like, I think this is good. I like this. This is my taste.
Hmm.
And when somebody else can yum your yum like that, it really feels so rewarding. So
Totally.
like that was super positive, and like coming from like an environment where like you make something and it's hard to know if you should share it with somebody or even if this is good enough to share with people.
Sure.
Go to this. It's just like an incredible achievement for me.
Yeah, no, and then we said it in the bio, but where it bears repeating. In that year of 2024, when this was released, the Chicago Readers poll named you the best emerging band of 2024.
Yeah, we won. We won that. It's a great honor. It's a huge honor. We got to go to this like gala, so to speak. It wasn't as big as the year before where they did it at the Lincoln Park Zoo, and the best emerging band got to perform for everybody. So we didn't get to do that,
Ah.
but it was a big honor, and we were really really grateful for that and to be recognized that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you don't just let that sit. You immediately start recording again in 2025. That was an EP. That in 2025 you release a full length album. So like you're just dropping bangers left and right.
Nothing but bangers. That's what we like to say.
But this also mentioned, like, it marks a transition. So this next album is called "You're a Star."
Mhm.
It has a track that's the title track to that, and that was a particular song that, from what I understand, was like a transitional moment for you, for the sound of the band, and for where the trajectory of where it was going to go.
Yeah, I think like with any collection of work, there's growth, there's evolution. Everything kind of builds on what came before it, and Your Star is kind of this. I'd call it like a nucleation point for us,
Mm-hmm.
where what we're doing now. So a lot of the new songs back in October that I was talking to you about, that girlfriend twin bed video.
Yeah.
We went out to a cabin in Michigan to record 6 demos of brand new stuff. That's stuff that's not even on. It's not on this album. It won't be out until the next album.
Mhm.
Like 6 new tunes that we've been milling over to try and like shop it around at different studios and folks who, different producers around the city that we might want to work with.
Sure.
Um, and so everything that's going to come out in the future, I think, is like building off of what You're a Star as an album, but also You're a Star as a single kind of established in terms of how we like songs to grow, the dynamic changes within them. Some of the themes, I think a lot of the songs I write come from this kind of space of evaluating myself, the way I carry myself, the relationships. It's a very nonfiction.
Sure.
Even though some of them are just sort of silly, like there's still like elements of myself in.
Of course. Absolutely. Well, why don't I bring the track in here? And you had particularly wanted to make sure we shared this particular version of the video that's on When the Wall Breaks Down.
Yeah, Shrav's YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, so let me start playing it, and then after a little bit, I'll bring the volume down, and we can just speak to more of this moment in time and this track, and more about this video.
Cool.
But let me start sharing at the Empty Bottle. So this was actually the album release show, wasn't it?
No, this is in February. This is of this last February. We played a show at the Bottle for like a single release. So this is the Bad Heart release show.
I got you. Did you do the album release show at Empty Bottle?
Yeah. It was it was like 2 weeks ago on Thursday the 18th.
That's what I'm getting wrong.
Yeah.
At least I was able to salvage something out of that mistake. But anyway, let's take a listen to You're a Star by Billy Joel Jr. So this is another one that I believe, if I have the story right, is where you wrote it together. After you were working on it, there was like a night where you would, like you were talking, like just like a jam session or a place where you were performing, and then you were able to start to play this one more in the after hours vein, and some of the other band members were like, wait, let's work on this.
Yeah, I kind of have this sick, twisted disease where we'll be playing, we'll have like a rehearsal or a jam or something, and I'll bust out a song that's like half done or like partially there. Like
Sure.
there's an idea I have, but you know, I'll just like throw it out there and see how the guys bite onto it. And I started playing these chords and like whistling the melody. And Nate said, "That's something. Let's play with that." And we stayed like another hour after like everybody had gone, and like did a little phone demo of this like whole song that night. And it like transformed into what it is today, like the dynamic swings, the kind of guitar solo that I'm doing in there,
Sure.
and like some of just sort of the riff that Nate and Charlie on the bass do together. That kind of is that walk down in the chorus. I think is like super creative and like reflects that kind of collaborative spirit we work together on.
Totally. No, it's a great track, and I think this also shows the other side of the sound, because there's a lot of diversity in the sound. Off the first track, it's very, I don't want to say punk, but it kind of has that, like, you know, garagey kind of grunge sound. And now this one's a little, and it has more comedy to it. This one has more very emotional. This is more where the obsessive romantic is. Yeah, exactly. Right. And there's just to point out some of the, I think it's, if you just read the lyrics or just listened to the lyrics, it sounds like it's a conversation between two people, but from what I understand, it's actually a conversation with yourself.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of like to write things where anybody can impress or paint their own experiences onto it. I don't like, I like specificity, especially when it helps drive or build out a whole world. But the most important thing for me is like in writing music is connecting the people who are listening to it.
Yeah.
And so if you can like hear like a relationship, or you hear like some kind of emotion that you can identify, or a nostalgic quality to the thing that's coming out, that is a win for me.
Yeah. It's funny, I do tell this story a couple times on the show, but this is a perfect one where this one songwriter has some beautiful songs, and she's told me stories about like this one particular track is about her divorce from her husband. And she's like, after a show, someone might come up to me and be like, hey, that song that said this lyric, and it was about, you know, you losing your father, like that really struck me. And then someone else will walk up and be like, yeah, when your dog died in that song, that really touched me because I really needed that in this moment. And it's like, she's like, unbelievably that it's like, you know, this moment of me sharing this very vulnerable moment of what it feels like to go through divorce, and it connected with people in such different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's so funny you said that. I had like, when I was first playing music in Chicago, I would play like mostly originals, and they'd be like very acoustic, and it would be like me processing certain things. Like I had a song about the death of my first dog, and just kind of like reflecting on that. You know, everyone has a dog. And I had another song that was about my relationship with like my older brother. And I had someone come up to me after the show, and they were like emotional, very emotional. And they were like, that song that you sang, the one that I said was about my brother, said it's like, it made me think of my relationship with my dad, and like how I wish it was different, and I wish it was like all these things. And I was like, that is so powerful. That is feeding me. That is making me want to do this more.
Yep.
It's such an amazing experience.
It really is. And to your point about, as the artist, if you can put the song squarely in a spot where it can be more things to more people, it's what makes the art so beautiful. And it's because at the core is this universal emotion, and it can get, you know, drawn from or needed by people in completely different ways. And that connection is just magical. I just love that.
English teachers be damned, but you know, when I read The Old Man and the Sea, I think it's about a guy and a fish, not about you know, the Trinity or the Holy Ghost or whatever, Christianity.
Yes, yeah, down with all of that. Anyway, no, I think that's great, and it's so very cool to hear that you're getting those experiences.
It's amazing. I'd love to make $100 million off this every year, but it's really rewarding to talk to people after shows and get to hear their experiences.
Absolutely. And so you had said you might be able to play something live for us.
Yeah, I could maybe pick up the guitar and try something out.
Yeah, play some left-handed music for us.
Yeah, a little lefty, a little Paul McCartney style.
Fulfilling dreams here on your next favorite band. All right, so let me give you more of the full screen here, and then intro whatever you're going to play, and can't wait.
Sure. Let's see. I didn't prepare anything, Phil, so you're gonna have to give me a second while I figure out what it is I want to play. This is a song that's on the EP that we decided to do a different version of for the album. It's called "She's Always on My Mind," and I'll give you a little taste. When I wake up and the window lets the sun come in, I know she made sure to be at work this time. Brush my teeth and check my phone before the meds kick in. Honestly, I think about you all the time. All the time, all the time. I hate going back, 'cause it makes me feel like nothing happened. It makes it all right. It makes me feel like nothing happened between us. Between us. Between us. Waiting for the smell of you to leave my bed, and morning comes. Still I see that you're not by my side. She's always on my mind. Always. Always. All the time. All the time. All the time. When I wake up and the window lets the sun come in,
Fantastic.
Thank you.
It was awesome. Thank you. Special treat there. It sounds, I mean, it really it was great. Like, that was such a great, cool version. I do love that song, and that was such a neat version of it.
Yeah, I think that song is really special to me because it's like, just like You're a Star is a pivotal point in like our songwriting. I feel like that also kind of defines an era of like 90s nostalgia type stuff, but very nonfiction, incredibly nonfiction. and like being able to take it from like a little bit overproduced, I would call it overproduced, but overproduced in our EP to some more stripped down,
Hmm.
straight live take with limited overdubs on like vocals and stuff.
Yeah.
That is a very special. That was very special for us to do.
Oh, that's so cool. And thank you for sharing that. I guess we should spend a moment here talking about the band name. I deliberately didn't do it off the top because I imagine it's what a lot of people do. But there's going to be a lot of people who want to know some of the evolution of it. I think it stems from comedy, and I do like that. So I thought maybe you would tell some of the kind of the early uses of it, and then we're going to get into this other funny thing that you all did, which I think is masterful.
Well, it's one of those things where the more you think about trying to make something special or important and really put effort and try to like fine tune something, the like further and further away it gets from perfection.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, in my experience. So when we were coming up with the name for the band, we didn't really have like any thoughts about what should we name it, what should we do, and us being like mostly like Chicago comedy dudes.
Sure.
It'd be funny whenever we play a cover, we say we're playing like a Billy Joel song, and then we really play like a Nirvana, Radiohead, or whatever what stuff we know, Teenage Dirtbag. But then when we play like an original, we say Billy Joel did not write this one, and then we play an original tune.
Yeah.
And so like we passed different names around to like who would we say, and we kept coming back. Billy Joel is just like funnier, just feels funnier. And I love Billy Joel. Don't get me wrong. Not my number one artist by any means. But the name just kind of stuck from there. We did like two or three shows under that name, and we were like, hell, it works. It feels good to be Billy Joel Jr. It's not a bad name.
Yep.
I'd rather be that than like Slow Crush or some like obsessive, vague combination of like word vomits. Like
I'm with you. In fact, it's
more,
like sometimes people will say like, okay, what have you learned? Like, or what advice do you have? Like sometimes a musician will just be like, hey, what do you like? What are you hearing that works for other people? I'm like, well, first of all, get yourself a band name that isn't like just completely going to become a problem. Like it needs to be easily searchable, findable, but also not thinking you're like so full of yourself. Like
it's nothing's original anymore, and so you really can't have an original name. And then when you pick a name, I know Carl has this like horror story of being in bands as a drummer where they had a band that was really doing great things and they were like growing, and they got cut under by like another bigger band that had the same or similar name. Sure. And that band was like harassing them to change their name. And then when they changed their name, Carl attributes that to being like, when the band started going bad is when we changed our name from what was working for us. And I think like you say, something that's easily searchable. Fortunately for us, Billy Joel, super search engine optimized for himself. Not so much for the junior aspect. So maybe we're capitalizing on some automatic SEO there.
Well, I was just laughing about the idea of the amount of people who probably go, oh, I didn't know he had a son. Let's go check this out. And then it's like, there's zero piano. It's nowhere near the same zip code of genre. Like, and I just wonder what goes through those people's minds when they think they're going to go get like some crooner.
Yeah. Phil, we did a show. In August, we did this like benefit for like a Chicago benefit for Brave Space Alliance, where we were doing Elliott Smith covers. So I think it was like at Shuba's. They host this like every year. It was us and a couple other bands. Awesome, incredible event. And we got off stage and we're at the merch table and like we're donating some of the merch sales to the fundraiser or whatever. And this guy comes out from the bar, bursts open the door. I mean, it's packed in there. It's like sold out benefit show, packed in there. He goes up to me. He's like looking around. He's like, "Did we miss Billy Joel?" I'm like, he's literally talking to me, and like Charlie's next to me, and we're like, yeah, man, sorry, I missed him. He was just here.
He was asking for you too,
and he was like, oh, damn it, I heard they were good.
Where's that guy? That's awesome. That is awesome. And then there was this, like, so I think this is the other side is like, from what I understood, like you're all just kind of waiting for the cease and desist or like something, but not necessarily. And then you you take the bull by the horns and actually wrote your own and sent it. Oh my God, it just makes me laugh so much.
This is like an early example of the benefits of AI. When you have the internet at your disposal, you can make anything look real. And it's also a lesson for anybody that has medical debt. You can just make legal letterhead to send to debt collectors, and they will leave you alone if it looks like it's coming from a very busy and important law firm.
Sure.
But Nate, our album, our EP release actually was April 8th of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And we were trying to find ways to promote it. And you know how bands will all do like, April Fools, we broke up. The band
Right.
is done. Well, it's over.
And that's the one thing I was going to point out in this letter is look at the date. It's April 1st.
Yeah, exactly.
And
well,
so
we had this idea of like, well, what's something we can do that isn't like a dumb April Fool's joke?
right.
And so we came up with an even dumber one of us getting sued by Universal Music Group, the owners of the copyright on the Billy Joel catalog.
Right.
So we put that into, Nate had this great idea. He put it into ChatGPT. He mocked that up literally at rehearsal. I said, send that to me. We're posting it tonight. We go into rehearsal. I come out the next day. Stereo Gum, the music publication,
So great.
somehow got the Instagram post, posted it on their main Instagram and on their website, or I mean, but posted it, and it was captioned, anyone got legal advice for @billyjoel.jr. That's our Instagram handle. And it also had on the second slide a promotion for our EP release show at the Empty Bottle. So incredible viral marketing at its best. And couldn't say enough for how great fooling a publication has been for us.
That's so funny. Oh, what a great just story and gag and everything. That's wonderful.
It really felt great. It's a nice addition to a year where we get named Best Emerging Band. We get to have fun with everyone.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is so great. So that's kind of the evolution of that band name, and then the ways that it was deployed for your benefit. Similar to bringing up the cover art for Rubber Hose, I wanted to bring up the cover art for You're a Star. One, because it's really well done. And then it has the Illinois outfit on there, so repping the hometown there. But I wanted to point out that is a Bethlehem star right over that young lady's face. And as we were talking about before we came on, I want to highly encourage you to consider submitting to play Music Fest.
Sure.
Because here in Bethlehem, where the Bethlehem star is all over the place, you could actually probably make a killing on the merch there just because of the star. But then I heard that you actually have a connection to Bethlehem steel, or at least an awareness of it through your studies.
Yeah, when I went to school, I went to the University of Illinois in Champaign. And my parents, my mother is an incredible person. But my parents said, you have to go to school for something that is that will keep you alive.
Not music.
Not anthropology, not the history of dinosaurs, indigenous people studies, which are things I was looking at.
Sure.
And
yep.
they say engineering is a great program. It's gotten me. I mean, I have my ability to make music and work is great because of the engineering degree, I will say. But I studied metallurgy in my program, and a lot of our case studies and textbooks reference Bethlehem steel and standards that were established in the steel works in Pennsylvania are legendary in my field.
I can only assume that it would be. It was made this whole town something quite special. And then the arts kind of rose from the ashes. So these pictures behind me are all from the festival, and it has music year round because you had the equivalent of a Superfund site when it was closed down in the 80s. And what rose out of the ashes there was this entire arts and cultural organization called ArtsQuest. And they've been putting on this music festival for 40 plus years.
Wow.
and it's in all of that the Foundry. Like it's in and amongst these massive.
Oh, we have to submit then. That
I
sounds
was-
like a blast.
Like I mean, honestly, like I'll it won't show up well here, but I'll just send you some pictures of what the stage looks like and how it's just so gorgeously
yeah.
amongst
I love
all this
that.
urban decay. It's great. It's such a great venue and experience and a great organization. So I do hope, and then your sound, your vibe would just be perfect for the festival. So I hear you are making the rounds on the festival circuit this coming summer of 2026. It would only just make a perfect element to that tour.
A lot of stuff unannounced, but we're hoping we can book some stuff to get out of the Midwest this year.
Yeah.
So that's fingers crossed. We'll land somewhere good.
Definitely. All right. Well, we'll definitely keep in touch on that. And anything else we can help promote in the meantime? I know the album is brand new, so people have to check out You're a Star. But anything we can kind of help kind of promote, any shows yet announced or anything for the winter?
We're doing a couple things in Chicago. The thing is, after making an album like this, the band is resting for January. So, Carl is back in Lebanon right now.
Oh, neat.
He's there until middle of January. Charlie is doing he's taking graduate. He's getting his graduate degree in art history through the School of Art Institute Chicago. And he's going to be in Venice for the whole month of January. So we're really not doing anything until later in the year. We're doing this local indie music showcase in Chicago at the Ramova Theater on April 3rd.
Cool.
It should be a really fun time.
Yep.
It's us and a couple other like huge indie rock bands in the area. Just a great night of just like local music.
Mm-hmm.
And then in between now and then, we've got some other releases hopefully planned out, but I can't really announce too much.
I gotcha.
So.
Well, here's the thing. Give you a follow, and we'll connect to the socials in the show notes. You can obviously follow us. We'll echo some of that as well. Awesome. But such an honor to have you on the show. This was such an awesome conversation. As you heard, we're going to play Bad Heart after the credits. Anything you can do to kind of just set the stage for people to listen to that one?
Imagine, if you will, a song that is really good.
I'm just gonna let that have some time to breathe. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank
Bill.
you, Ari. This was such an honor. Thank you so much.
Very fun.
Absolutely. See ya.
Have a good night.
So there you have Billy Joel Jr. Such great music. Definitely go check all that out. Like I said, you're gonna catch one more at the bottom here, and my personal favorite, and as explained by Ari, it's a song that's really good.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Next Favorite Band. We'd like to sincerely thank Ari Levin from Billy Joel Jr., as well as all the other members of the band for putting out all of this incredible music, and then Ari for joining us tonight and telling us all these great stories and inspirations and the journey that the band has been on to get to this moment. We will be including links in the show notes to all of the different elements that you can connect to, whether it's social media or streaming services or Bandcamp, all that good stuff. But definitely give them a follow because, as you heard, lots of things that can't yet be announced, but definitely that means there are things that will be announced. So you're going to want to catch them perform live when you can. As always, our hope here is to bring you your next favorite band. If you tuned in tonight because you already knew Billy Joel Jr., thank you very much. We hope you like what you heard and what you saw, and that you might give us a like or a subscribe or a follow so that we can bring you your next favorite band in a coming week. Or your next favorite band might already be out there. NextFaveBand.com and our YouTube channel at NextFaveBand has all of our prior interviews. We're now at 200. Can you believe it? But out there could be several Next Fave bands for you. Just go pick one or two, or if you want to help curating that, just send us a note. We love doing that, so just let us know kind of what your typical interests are, and we can point you in the direction of a couple to kind of check out, and we would love that. And lots of great stuff coming up here in the winter and into the spring, and look forward to seeing you at a live show soon. Stay tuned, as we said. For my favorite track from Billy Joel Jr., here is Bad Heart.